Ren from Hallowed Be Thy Game, and today we're sharing with you our favorite games for Nintendo handheld consoles, Part 1. Let's check it out. Welcome back to another episode of Hallowed Be Thy Game, and I am psyched to once again have Danik here with me.
I'm psyched to be here once again.
Oh my gosh, and we are diving into our top 3 favorite games for every Nintendo handheld.
Got a couple of them.
Yeah, not easy. It was pretty tough in a lot of instances to kind of dig through the recesses of my memories and figure out what my favorite games were.
Yeah, definitely had to remember what I played on some of these.
Oh my gosh, it's been an awesome trip down memory lane, and please share your top 3 favorites for every handheld down in the comments. Looking forward to checking them out.
Absolutely, we need some content for ourselves here.
Yeah, I need something to play too.
Me too.
Game Boy and Game Boy Color. All right.
It's been a minute.
It's been a very big minute, but what's interesting, we both have one game that we both love a whole bunch. And obviously,
I don't know if people have ever heard of this franchise. It's kind of niche.
It is pretty niche, and I will say this, sometimes when you become a YouTuber, you do become kind of a hipster. You kind of go for, but yeah, Pokemon Blue.
Am I saying that? Are you saying that? Pokemon Blue.
Pokemon Blue, yes, definitely that color. Obviously, one of the most beloved games of all time.
Absolutely.
Yeah, but it's no different here. I mean, for people who were of age at that time,
when that hype was coming and we were about 10 years old,
it was unreal.
It was
crazy. It was unreal.
I had a VHS from Nintendo Power.
Really?
That was advertising the Pokemon craze was coming to America.
And it did.
And it did, for sure.
It was really the first game. I remember people losing their minds at swim team, at school.
You weren't allowed to bring trading cards to school. You couldn't wear a Pokemon T-shirt to school.
Are you serious?
Oh yeah, it
was of the devil.
It was banned. Yeah. It was banned in school.
But I think the more important thing here is Blastoise is best.
Yeah.
I'm pretty adamant on that. My brothers had red, and we each had like all of the colors between me and my brothers, and we kind of swapped them around. But dude, I'm not gonna lie, freaking Blastoise just rocked too hard.
The first, I remember, it's weird. I remember opening this up for Christmas that my aunt got me, and it was Blue and Blastoise. And
oh man,
I ran to the car, grabbed my Game Boy, and that was it, man.
Glorious memories ever since.
Absolutely.
Did anybody in the comments fill out their Pokédex? Were you that cool?
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh, 151. I got a Game Shark so I could get Mew, bro.
Yeah.
I had to have them all. Got to catch them all. That's what they say.
Rock on. All right, and my next game is Zelda Oracle of Seasons. Okay, there's a difference between the two.
Just like Pokemon, we had the two. You had seasons, I had ages.
Yeah, and honestly, it was amazing because my brothers had ages, and we kind of swapped between the two again. But Seasons was the first one I played, and I don't remember. It's been decades since I played this game, but I don't remember a ton of differences between the two. But looking back at footage and such, yeah, there seemed to be...
They were there.
Yeah, there was definitely some differences there. But I think this is probably, at this point, the most desired port of an older Zelda game to come back. I would love to see this get that kind of...
Link's Awakening for Switch kind of thing?
Oh my god, yes. I think it would be excellent. If they could maybe redo, but keep the same art style, because Capcom, I'm pretty sure Capcom was involved in these.
I believe they made these two and then did that, the GBA...
Really?
Oh gosh, what was it called?
Minish Cap.
Minish Cap, yeah. I think
I
that was
freaking love Minish Cap.
That was a good one.
But yeah, essentially, I love the mechanics of changing the seasons. You have winter, fall. It was just excellent all around. I love these games so much, and I'd love to see them come back.
Me too. As we talked, you and I talked before we started doing this, my neighbor had seasons, I had ages, and we swapped cartridges and played through them. I don't remember what the link cable stuff was about. Hit us in the comments, because I don't
would be
remember.
Really cool to know, for sure. The only time I ever used a link cable was for trading Pokemon.
Same here. The next one I'll talk about is Donkey Kong.
Oh my god, I've never played this.
Never played Donkey
Kong?
No. So like it's initially presented as like, you remember the original arcade Donkey Kong, You climb up the ladder, rescue Pauline, 4 levels, and the game ends.
Right.
Well, this does that, and then as soon as the game would otherwise end, Donkey Kong gets revenge on Mario, and then the game takes off in a whole nother direction.
Really?
And becomes kind of this puzzle game where you grab a key and you just take it to the end of the door, and then there's just different level scenarios and gimmicks in each zone. It was just a puzzle platformer.
Right.
But as a kid, man, I played this so much, and it would evolve into the Mario versus Donkey Kong franchise.
Yeah,
we've talked about a little bit in the past.
That's fantastic.
But this game, the first one, I played so much of it. It was a great platformer. Like Mario had that handstand jumps, backflip. He's very acrobatic for. I think it was the first time he kind of had that breadth of moves he could do. It was really cool. It was a very defining Game Boy game for me. Like I had Tetris, Dr. Mario, things like that. But Donkey Kong, I played so much of it, and it's been a favorite ever since, and it still sticks with me to this day.
Right. Now, my next game that I just have a lot of love for is obviously Zelda Link's Awakening.
Sure.
I mean, honestly, this was the first time I played a handheld game that just completely blew me away. And what I loved about it is that it did feel different than every other Zelda game, because it did have a lot of, like, I don't know if you want to call them cameos. It felt like cameos at the time from Mario.
When I saw a Goomba, that was crazy.
Yeah, and then there was a section of the game where it goes like like a 2D plane.
The side scroller? Yes, I know what you mean.
And you could do like the flips and the jumps.
Well, you had the feather. You could just jump like Mario.
Yeah. It was just wonderful. It was beautiful. I didn't beat it on the Game Boy. I honestly didn't beat it until later. I think when I played it on the Game Boy Color. Well,
DX re-release.
Yeah, the DX release. I think I played on GBA. It's tough for me because sometimes I would just play things from older.
100%.
Anyways, but
backwards compatibility is great.
Why is it gone? Why is it gone? But yeah, Link's Awakening, it's a glorious part of gaming history. It's one of my most beloved Zelda games. I would say if you have a young child or somebody who's getting into the whole Zelda series and they want to play a really solid, great older title, Link's Awakening is an excellent place to start. I think it's very approachable for younger kids and absolutely one of the best Zelda games ever made.
I just remember being a kid and having, like, all the characters had so much personality.
They did.
I haven't played this, and I loved this game as a kid. Yeah. And I still haven't played the Switch the Switch remake.
I loved it. I didn't realize how goofy it was as a kid, but like there's like this dude on a telephone, and he's too nervous to talk to you in person, but he'll call you on the phone. Yeah, I'm like, it's just stupid, but it's amazing at the same time. It just has Nintendo charm from like the Mario quirk. Yeah. Because Zelda...
Well, there was like the pet...
Yes.
Chain chomp.
Yes.
That you had to give a bow
and it scared me.
It scared me
as a
too,
kid, it scared me.
It made that that roar sound. Yeah. I would spend as little time on that screen as I could.
And like, for not a GBA game, well, it is, but Link to the Past, the cave dungeon theme, gave me nightmares as a kid. Yeah, so it didn't take much to scare me.
Recommending
Resident Evil has like terrified me. So it's like, oh, Zelda's
Or recommending this to kids and going, man, Zelda scared me, man.
Please don't at me if your kid has nightmares about the chain chomp from Link's Awakening. Yeah,
just put a bow on it.
Oh, it'll be fine.
And my last game for the Game Boy Color will be Mario Tennis.
Oh, rock on.
Would you ever play Mario Tennis?
I played it on the 64.
Really?
Yeah, I love that game.
Funny you mentioned that. I had tennis on 64 also, and had the transfer pack for Pokemon Stadium. Remember, you could bring your Mario Tennis let you put your tennis Game Boy cartridge in, and you could import your RPG character into 64 Tennis.
Oh my gosh.
It was one of the few games I remember using the thing that wasn't Pokemon.
That's really cool.
But Mario Tennis, if you never played it, JRPG.
Really?
But you play tennis. But it was a full-on overworld. You had trainers and teachers and stories, and your partner was, or like your party member was your doubles teammate. Really? And he had I think she had her own stats that you had to level up. You had to get...
I've missed out on all of this.
Oh, it's a fantastic RPG.
Gosh.
I know, like, I think the Game Boy Advance Tennis kept the story RPG.
Okay.
And Golf also had these RPG modes. Okay. And I think after the Advance they kind of haven't really done them
That's
anymore.
so weird
and it's a shame. Because they were great.
Because nowadays you will get like Golf Story or something like that, where they do incorporate...
Golf Story is 100% influenced by Mario Tennis.
Really?
Yeah, it's crazy.
That's fascinating.
And Mario Golf.
Right, that's excellent.
But
really cool.
the Mario sports games were on Color were so good. And tennis...
Game Boy Advance. So the first game on my list for today is Metroid Fusion.
Phenomenal.
Yeah, and it was really tough for me to narrow it between Fusion and Zero Mission. Depending on when you ask me, it could be a different answer.
Yeah.
But literally though, Fusion to me, you could make an argument that it is the best Metroid game. Because I think you could do that for now Dread, Zero Mission, Fusion, and at least those three for sure. I think they're all fantastic in terms of the Metroidvania genre,
Sure.
not including the Prime games. Anyways, Fusion is excellent because it does incorporate just everything that makes Super Metroid so excellent, but I think it just executes it in a great modern way, and the Game Boy Advance is just the perfect place. These games, playing them handheld is just unbelievably good.
I feel like Fusion even added a lot more of that horror.
They did.
It was because I remember it's been again probably 10 years, but I still distinctly remember what was the evil Samus going around?
The X Parasite.
Yeah, like when that is like first appears.
When
and
you go down the elevator and then it's boom, it blows out the wall.
And
then
Samus
it does like that
through.
friggin' Terminator walk, like
yes.
And then it zooms in on the face, and it's Samus, but dead eyes. Like, just... And I'm like, if I'd have played this as, like, a 10-year-old, that'd have scared me.
Absolutely.
And then what's so terrifying is, like, when she does find you, the X-Parasite finds you, it is friggin' hard. Like, you have to run. Like, it will kill you so fast. Fusion is not an easy game.
I remember having a lot of trouble with it.
Of all of the Metroid games, obviously, you can make a case for the first Metroid, but I personally think that Fusion is the hardest Metroid, even harder than Dread. I love Dread. I love them all. They're all phenomenal games. I'm just saying, from terms of difficulty, I still think Fusion is the hardest.
It was the most brutal.
And it is phenomenal, though. Not because it's hard, but it just executed everything so well, and it does feel kind of like a little bit of survival horror.
Absolutely. There were definitely, like, once you would start killing parasites and you could absorb them, which I think they kept in Dread.
Yeah, they did.
You would generate a bunch of health and ammo, and you were just like, oh, thank goodness.
Yes, thank God. I know. Phenomenal. Metroid Fusion. What's your favorite Metroid game? Let us know down in the comments.
The first game I think I'll talk about then is Castlevania Aria of Sorrow. The Game Boy Advance was personally when I got into Castlevania.
Really?
I was late to the party on Castlevania for sure.
Me
like
too.
Symphony of the Night, I missed it. And then something about the DS came out. I got Dawn of Sorrows and I loved it. And I went back and played almost every Castlevania I could get my hands on. And then I found Aria of Sorrow on Game Boy Advance, and I love Aria of Sorrow. I don't know if it was the Soma Cruz character. I don't know if it was that gameplay that Symphony of the Night really popularized, but Aria of Sorrow just was a phenomenal game start to finish.
Right.
They hit us with the re-release of that Castlevania Advance collection. If you watching this video haven't checked out Aria of Sorrow, my full recommendation.
Yeah, I've played Harmony of Dissonance. I love
People
Harmony.
hate on that, and I don't know why.
It's
I liked
weird.
it.
It's weird because sometimes I'll like retroactively find out like the communities of a certain franchise will love or hate us. The Castlevania games on the Advance are excellent. I really fell in love with the series with Symphony of the Night, but I played them so weird. Like I played Castlevania 1 on the NES, played Symphony of the Night much later, and then I would go back and forth,
bounce around the franchise. I did the exact same thing, and all of the Game Boy Advance ones, big fan of. And the first one, Circle of the Moon, was a little more like, say, Dracula X. Circle of the Moon's really good too, but for the sake of this conversation and video, Aria of Sorrow was my
looking
absolute
back,
favorite.
the art style, I mean, the graphics, everything about the Advance. It just breathes nostalgia to me.
Me too.
And it like, it reaches out its seductive, nostalgic finger, and it just caresses me back in. I freaking love that era of gaming and graphics.
Just that music, that art, it was good. It was good.
It's so good.
It's good.
Now, next up for me is Golden Sun. Me and my brothers. Oh, this game has so much nostalgia for me. Honestly, this is a weird thing to love about the game, but this was the first turn-based like JRPG I played where it wasn't your party on one side facing bad guy on the other side. That for me, Final Fantasy had really leaned into. Just the unique art style, the gorgeous color in this game. This game really flexed the muscles of the GBA's just color palette for me, and just what sprite work and just bright colors. Just really, as I get older, I find myself that much more of a sucker for it. But yeah, you just had really fun, cute characters. I will confess, this is the only Golden Sun game I've ever played. But me and my brothers loved this game, and it was just mostly a case of we never were allowed, well, not allowed, but we never thought to pick up gaming magazines. We were definitely not allowed to watch like certain TV channels and stuff like that. So we really never knew there was other Golden Sun games till much later. And I really want to go back and play like these. I know there's
Lost Age,
the Lost Age, and then there's
the DS
Dark Sun. Yeah, it's DS
Maybe.
something, but yeah, I want to play the rest of them so bad, but. And for Golden Sun fans in the comments, like, what is your favorite Golden Sun game? Because the first one is just enraptured.
You know.
Yeah, but me and my brothers loved it so much.
My neighbor had Golden Sun, and I remember him just excitingly showing it to me, but
Really?
I never played it. Never did. Never got around to him. I've heard about him.
Yeah.
He was enthralled with this first one.
Yeah, I cannot recommend it enough.
The next game I will talk about on Game Boy Advance will be maybe a weird one, but Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 2.
Okay, this is so fascinating to me because, for one, I didn't know it was on GBA, and looking at footage, it looks so cool and unique.
I think it was the first Game Boy Advance game I had.
Yeah.
And I was a humongous Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 1 and 2 fan at the time.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, hey, cool, Tony Hawk on Game Boy Advance, and I got it. And you know, at the time, you knew to expect a very different game from console to handheld. But it was just a crazy translation. It was a totally different isometric camera.
It plays.
wild.
It looks so different, but it works.
It totally worked. You had all of the same features. You had all the gap checklists. I mean, granted, you didn't have like the music and officially licensed music, but just I believe all of the levels were there. All of the skill challenges were there. The character creation and character progression of career mode, all there.
Man,
it was a wild, and they subsequently would make Tony Hawk 3 and American Skateland, and which was great on DS.
Okay.
But they made I believe Jet Set Radio even got a GBA port in the exact same vein. I did not play that, so comments let me know if I'm mistaken there. But I believe Jet Set also was like that isometric kind of Tony Hawk game. But Tony Hawk 2 on Game Boy Advance, great.
I'm
fantastic.
retroactively annoyed I never played this.
It was really
so
good.
Cool.
It did the same. You could keep, that I was a big fan of that arcade score attack. Loved beating my own high score.
Yeah.
And it just controlled well. It had great combos. It was a great game. Great game.
Well, my next game on today's list is proof that I am a unique human being, but Zelda the Minish Cap. Look, I love Zelda. I mean, growing up, Zelda was just my jam. And I will say this, it would be tough for me to choose my favorite handheld on-the-go Zelda game, because as much as I love Link's Awakening...
You might hear more Zelda from us later in this video.
Oh my god, dude, the Minish Cap is so daggone good. It's just another case of... I will say this is probably the best sprite work for any handheld Zelda game. This was the top of the mountain. Because like the Minish, I believe that's what they were called. The little race of, like, you would like shrink down in the game, and then you would see like a giant room from like this, like a mouse hole.
The perception of being small.
It was just so well done.
I never played this.
Oh my god,
I feel ashamed,
dude. I would highly recommend. It's not a long game. I remember the final boss being kind of hard back in the day.
Sure.
But I don't know if it's a case of I was just young, or like, I remember there was a time when I was playing PS2 games and it's like, I'll just go back and play all those easy NES games because they're probably easy. No. they're tough. You know, NES hard for a reason. But yeah, the Minish Cap is just a wonderful game. I loved it. It would be tough for me to pick whether I love this or Link's Awakening more, but it's just a testament to how good they both are. Just gorgeous characters. The Minish Cap itself was just a very charming addition, a very great partner to put with Link. Just a wonderful game. Totally recommend it.
And the last one I'll go ahead and talk about on Game Boy Advance is Mario and Luigi's Superstar Saga.
Rock on.
This was another JRPG for us to talk about. And if you haven't played any of the Mario and Luigi games, they were kind of Paper Mario RPG-esque games.
Okay.
But like Paper Mario, you had the turn-based. You went into a battle screen.
Okay.
You selected your attacks, but the big gimmicks of these games were, as the enemies would attack you, you could jump and avoid attacks. You could use your hammer to stop something from hitting you. They were you controlled with A, Mario, and with B, you controlled Luigi,
yes,
and a couple little tweaks in
right.
there. But you controlled both of these characters at the same time, trying to keep them from taking damage from the enemies. And it made a turn-based game very dynamic,
right.
and I love it.
Man.
Love that idea of keeping you engaged
so cool.
while the enemy is attacking.
Right.
Very cool.
Yeah.
And so full of charm and silly humor.
Yeah.
Much like we talked about with Link's Awakening.
Yeah.
And these characters having a personality.
Yeah.
Fawful is one of my favorite Nintendo
Really?
characters, and he's so stupid. It's like it's a Nickelodeon villain.
Right.
Done by Nintendo. He's
That's
just
so good.
He's so obviously going to fail comically.
Right.
And he's always there harassing you. And
Exactly.
he's even Bowser is mad that he's not the villain of this
Really?
game. Oh yeah.
Oh, man, that's so cute.
Which becomes a bigger thing with the series with Bowser's inside story later.
Right.
Also fantastic.
Yeah.
But Mario and Luigi Superstar Saga was so much fun, so full of personality. And I love this franchise that it would keep being.
These are at the top of my list of games I want to experience, because it's sad because when I was younger, like, I was very much like, I'm not going to try to pretend I've always been open to every different experience, but I was very much like, oh, a Mario game should play like this, a Zelda game should play like this, and I really locked myself off to experiencing variations that would work and spawn new series. Mostly, and I'm going to go ahead and, I have a part to play in it, but when I went to the store and rented Where's Mario? And
Scarring.
Dude, it really set a bad precedent.
Understandable.
And I was like, if it is not a normal Mario game, I ain't playing it because I ain't going to be fooled twice.
I absolutely can understand that.
And I really wish I could go back and say, hey, son, can I call you son? You need to play Superstar Saga. Because they look so good. And just that dynamic. I'm always a sucker for if you can engage me in turn-based combat even more. Oh, that's right up my alley.
And this will do so, and I can't speak to all of them.
Yeah.
But the final bosses will make sure you are really good at defense and protecting Mario and Luigi. And for those who don't know, this was indeed ported to the 3DS.
Rock on.
So, and I think it had a little bonus story, stuff like that.
I'm gonna be on the lookout for these.
Yeah, it's a good one. And all the Mario and Luigi games are good, but Superstar Saga on GBA, great game.
Well, there you have it. There's part one of our favorite games on Nintendo handhelds. We definitely have some more parts coming out in the future. I can't wait to see what your favorite games are down in the comments. Definitely looking to add some more games to our list. Thank you so much for your support on the channel. The channel growth here lately has just been an extremely wonderful experience. All your likes, subscribes, they just mean a whole lot and they help out the channel a whole bunch. I hope you all have an incredible week, and I will see you all next time.